On Car Obsession, I have reviewed a whole host of different vehicles, super minis, SUVs, estates, performance cars, but I've never done a pickup truck. Until now. I've not done things by halves either, because I've gone for the steroid-munching Ford Ranger Raptor, the pickup truck with attitude. Now, you'd be forgiven for looking at the macho exterior and thinking this aggressive Tonka toy has a V6 or a V8 engine. Well, I bring bad news. Unlike the Volkswagen Amarok and the Mercedes X-Class, the Raptor actually has to make do with just 4 cylinders. Yes, that's right, 4. More specifically, this is a 2 litre bi-turbo EcoBlue diesel. However, the strength of this car isn't found in the engine bay. Oh no, it's a little bit lower. Well, for starters, the suspension is pretty beefy. The shock absorbers are made by a company called Fox. If you don't know about Fox, let me tell you this. They know a thing or two about making strong, rugged, dependable suspension. The dampers also have something called position-sensitive damping. In essence, you get higher damping forces in extreme conditions and lower damping forces when you're driving on the road. So basically, when you're driving this off-road, this is able to soak up the real harsh bumps, and on the road, this actually provides quite a smooth and compliant ride. It's actually pretty surprising. On top of this, you have these chunky BF Goodrich tyres, which are pretty much ready for any terrain. They are 838mm in diameter with a width of 285mm. The profile is 70, and they are wrapped around these bespoke alloys for the Ranger Raptor. These are 17 inches, and I think they look rather good. On top of this, you have tougher sidewalls, which are 20% tougher compared to a normal Ranger, but these aren't cheap. If you want to replace just one of these tyres, you're looking at about £250 a corner. So good thing these are durable then. As I mentioned earlier, the Raptor is powered by a 2 litre 4-cylinder EcoBlue diesel, which has 2 turbochargers. The power output is at 213 horsepower, along with 500 newton meters of torque. That's 369 pound-feet. 62 miles per hour comes in 10 seconds, and the top speed is 106 miles per hour, which may not seem that fast, but thanks to the Raptor's beefy chassis, you can pretty much guarantee that it can do it at speed just about anywhere, really. This power is made to do all 4 wheels via a 10-speed automatic. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ford, 10 speeds is simply too much choice. We don't need 10 speeds. When I drove the Ranger Raptor earlier this year, I said it felt quite responsive, and on roads like this, indeed it does. But when you drive it around town, I found the gearbox to be a little bit clunky, a little bit slow, a little bit dim-witted, which, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of. Now, you can put it in sport mode, which does of course improve matters. So the Ranger Raptor has got something called terrain management system, which sounds like something that should be presented using a PowerPoint slide. Anyway, in essence, you have 6 different driving modes. You have normal, you have sport, you have rock, you have Baja, you have mud/sand, and you also have, hang on, grass/gravel/snow. If I've got all of them right, then I will be pretty impressed, because it is a fair bit to remember. At the moment, I've got the car in normal, and it is actually, in fact, in 2-wheel drive. So there's a knob down here where you can change it from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, or 4-wheel drive with a low range gearbox. There's also a button where you can lock the diff, and another button for the hill descent control. This 2 litre engine, it works okay. I do think it is a bit of a letdown for this pickup truck, if I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit boomy. It's not overly powerful, and in my opinion, it just doesn't suit this pickup. The Ranger Raptor deserves a more brawny engine, if you ask me. But on the plus side, this is a smaller engine than the 3.2 litre diesel used in the lower spec Rangers, but it offers more power. And that's thanks to the 2 turbochargers, of course. The engine may not be to my liking, but the ride is. On the road, this rides really nicely. It's smooth, it flows well, it's compliant. Bearing in mind the type of vehicle this is, it's surprisingly supple. This is genuinely comfortable. It soaks up most of the bumps really well. Okay, when you hit the odd pothole, it does disturb the cabin a little bit, but this is a pleasant place to be. These seats are really nice to sit in as well. They're supportive, they're comfortable, they're heated as well, which on a day like today is most welcome. So you could easily drive the Ranger Raptor every day in plenty of comfort. Step into the rear and you're likely to find that for a taller person like me, it is a little bit cramped and the dark roof lining does make it feel a little bit dingy. As always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so yes, I am a taller person. As you can probably see, I haven't got much knee room and leg room isn't much better either. On a more positive note, I do have a good amount of headroom. I've got a few centimetres spare, so it isn't all bad news in the back. Could you fit 3 adults in the rear? I don't think so. There is quite a thick transmission tunnel, and I think your middle passenger would struggle for legroom because of the centre armrest as well. Practicality is pretty good back here though. The door bins are of a good size and can easily swallow a 500ml bottle, like so. In the middle you have a centre armrest which is a little bit stiff to get out. You do have to kind of wrestle it a little bit. There we go. In here you've got 2 cup holders, so I can fit my bottle in just fine, like so. There's also a pouch in the back of the front seat, so if you have a magazine or an A to Z, you can pop it in there. And last but not least, not only do you get a 12-volt socket in the middle, but you also get a 230-volt 3-pin socket as well. Thankfully, there's more space to be had in the front, and getting comfortable is very easy. Not only do you have these very fetching and supportive leather and suede seats, but these are also 8-way electronically adjustable and heated, which is fantastic for those colder months. Getting a comfortable driving position is easy because, like I say, you do have plenty of adjustment for the seat. Sadly, the steering wheel is only adjustable for rake, so it only goes up and down like so. But despite that, I found it very easy to get a driving setup which I find comfortable and usable. Moving on to the storage, the door bins are of a good size. You can fit in a 1.5 litre bottle with no complaints. In the middle, you have 2 cup holders, so I've got my coffee cup in here and my smaller bottle. There's a slot down here where you can pop your smartphone or any other smaller items. You've also got 2 USB ports in here and 2 12-volt sockets as well, so charging and connectivity in the front is pretty ample. In the middle, you have a centre armrest. Lift it up and you'll have a little tray where you can pop some loose change or perhaps some chewing gum, that sort of thing. Lift it up once more and you'll find an even deeper slot, which is also chilled as well. Sunglasses are holder up here, which is pretty handy, although it doesn't feel that well made. It feels quite cheap and the build quality isn't fantastic if I'm going to be super picky. And of course, last but not least, you do get a glove box, which offers a pretty good amount of space. A pickup truck, of course, needs to be practical. It needs to have the ability to lug about a load of stuff at any given time. The Ranger Raptor only has a payload capacity of 620 kilograms, but I'm sure you'll agree it still has a very usable and practical space. I love this noise, by the way. Oh, that just sounds manly and right. As you can see, the load area, the bed is very big, it's very usable. These bars can be taken off if desired, and this shutter can also be rolled back as well. So I've got a strap in the middle, pull it to the right hand side like so, and then the shutter folds back very nice and easily to give you an open bed. Now, if you don't want to have the shutter open, you can close it a quarter of the way like so. Wait for the click. There we go. Or you can close it 3/4 of the way, like so. Click. And of course you can close it all the way. It is a bit stiff. You can tell it's been designed for builders and tradesmen, can't you? Because you do need a good bit of good old-fashioned elbow grease to get it closed. There's also a power supply in the bed as well. So although this doesn't have the ability to carry as much weight as its rivals, I'm sure you'll agree the Ranger Raptor is still pretty carnivorous when it comes to space. That noise is very satisfying. Right, time to go build something, or destroy something, or build something, then destroy it. Yes. Once again, it is time for Ask Erin, the segment in which you guys get to ask me questions about whichever car I'm testing, or in this case, pickup truck. So, here we go. It's so bitter today, my hands are freezing. Does it feel too bulky for UK roads? I suppose it depends on the roads. I know that's a bit of a cop-out answer, but on main roads, no, this feels just fine. But on residential roads or cul-de-sacs, yeah, this quickly feels rather gigantic, and it gives you some idea of what it would be like to thread a piece of rope through the eye of a needle. However, you do get used to it relatively quickly. How does it handle off-road? Not sure yet. Stay tuned, there is an off-road video coming. And the last question, real-world MPG. Well, Ford states on a combined run, the Raptor offers 31.7 MPG. Most of my driving has been in and around town, for which I've been getting around 25 or 26 MPG. On my way to the filming location today, which has a bit of town driving, but mostly faster roads, I got 27 MPG. So not overly fantastic, but when you bear in mind this Diddy 2-litre engine has to lug about 2.5 tonnes worth of pickup truck, it is what you expect. In case you want to know about emissions, this emits 233 grams per kilometre. And that is Ask Erin, done and dusted. Before I hit the road again, let's touch upon the price, because it's almost as large as the vehicle it's representing. There's no easy way to say this. It's almost £50,000. What exactly are you getting for your money though? The Raptor comes as standard with features such as Raptor styling, uprated suspension, a wider track and a higher ride height, 17-inch alloys, all-terrain BF Goodrich tyres, bi-xenon headlights, 8-inch touchscreen, DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity, navigation, terrain management system, rear parking sensors with reversing camera, 8-way electronically adjustable front seats with heated function, and dual zone climate control, to name a few. Right, so let's speak about the handling. We've got a few twisty bits coming up. The steering is quite vague, if I'm going to be honest, but this is a 2.5 tonne pickup truck with quite a high ride height, so I can't really be too fussy, can I? For the most part, the steering's fine, but yeah, it's not razor sharp. But again, this is a pickup, so I should stop making such pedantic comments. Yeah, just a quick one. These tyres in the wet, they do squirm a little bit underneath you, so yeah, they do keep you on your toes a little bit. Oh, bit of slippage from the rear. That sounds dirty. The steering's got quite a nice weight to it. I do like the way how the steering wheel feels in the hands. The leather is nicely padded, it feels spongy, but still it has a nice firmness to it. I really like the steering wheel. It sounds like a really nerdy thing to say, but it just feels nice in the hands, and the red centre stripe is quite a nice touch as well. So Ford, you've done well here. Another thing which may surprise you about the Ranger Raptor is the refinement. So I'm cruising along at about 25 miles per hour, and it is surprisingly peaceful in here. Yeah, there is a bit of road noise, but apart from that, I do feel pretty cocooned in here. You know, this may be a big pickup truck, but the way how it drives isn't too dissimilar to your average SUV. And I think that's really going to appeal to buyers, because you're going to have your big brawny pickup, but it's no more taxing to drive than, let's say, a Nissan Qashqai. Of course, this is much bigger, but once you get used to the size, it genuinely isn't too difficult to manoeuvre. One thing I will say though, Ford, it would be nice to have front parking sensors, because when you're in a tight space and you've got a vehicle this big, it's just nice to have that extra bit of help. A heated steering wheel would be nice as well. I must admit, this week it has been quite cold, and I have missed having a heated steering wheel. So Ford, if you're watching, front parking sensors, heated steering wheel, please. Now, there is a bit of a problem with the Ranger Raptor. You see, pickup trucks are normally bought by builders and tradesmen and so forth, as they can use it as a company vehicle because they can claim back the VAT as it is classed as a light commercial vehicle. Great. The Ranger Raptor isn't classed as a light commercial vehicle because the payload capacity is only 620 kilograms and not the minimum 1,000 kilograms that you need in order to class a vehicle as an LCV. That means if you buy this, you can't claim back the VAT for your business. Bummer. There's two other problems, I'm afraid. The other one is the fact that this can tow 2,500 kilograms, which is great, but if you go for a standard Ranger, that can tow 3,500 kilograms. The last problem is the price. The Ranger Raptor starts at around £48,000. If you go for the highest spec of the standard Ranger, the Wild Track, that has a starting price of around £10,000 less. So, hang on, let me get this right. The Ranger Wild Track, it has a higher payload capacity, therefore it's classed as a light commercial vehicle, so you can claim back the VAT. It can tow a greater weight, and it's cheaper. Yeah, all of a sudden, this vehicle has become quite niche. So there we have it, the Ford Ranger Raptor. In all honesty, this is a vehicle which doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's not classed as a light commercial vehicle. One would argue it's too big for UK roads and it's quite niche. But despite this, there's something appealing about it. I don't know. You're probably watching this and you want one. I want one. I don't know why. This is a silly car. This is as sensible as using a space hopper to get to work. But just like a space hopper, it brings a smile to your face. It looks great. It's pretty good to drive, although the engine and gearbox combination isn't really to my liking. And it's comfortable as well. So the Ranger Raptor, to sum up, it's epic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If so, be sure to like, subscribe and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.